Welcome back to Yang Daily. I'll be your host, Alex Cheney, bringing you all the Yang news you need to live your life right. We've got a pretty awesome news item today, but first, give a huge round of applause to our newest patrons, Tim, Wes, DW, and a special thank you to Bryson, who has become our biggest benefactor yet at $10 a month. All of you are doing your part to keep this service and this community alive, and I thank you for stepping up and supporting me and all of our listeners. We're going to need independent journalism if we're going to turn the tide of misinformation in this country. On that note, I also want to thank Nathan Stankowski again. In addition to supporting us financially, he has been promoting the podcast online. For instance, yesterday he tweeted, quote, "Andrew Yang, you really need to be following and listening to the Yang Daily Podcast. Humanity Forward should issue a journalism grant to keep this alive. It's smart, focused, actionable, and professional. It's something the whole Humanity First Yang Gang movement should support." End quote. Very generous of you, Nathan, and I couldn't agree more about the grant. We need to find a way as a movement to start supporting responsible journalism as a public good. For all of our listeners who value this podcast, promoting it to get more listeners or petitioning groups like Humanity Forward to support Humanity First journalism in some fashion are other ways that you can help keep us going. If you can't donate for whatever reason, promoting its value and tagging other influencers like Paget, Scott, Andrew, etc. to increase the reach is the next best thing. Thank you again, Nathan. Now on to good news. Health authorities are announcing that Africa has finally reached the threshold of 95% immunity that qualifies the continent as free of polio. It's been a long slog, slowed by misinformation, but it's great to hear. Let's hope that someday we can hear the same for COVID-19. In a new study, by looking at babies born just under and over the weight line that determines eligibility to receive SSI disability income, it's been observed that cash transfers of around $700 a month improves child outcomes and parenting behaviors. This is no surprise to us, obviously, but always good to have more evidence. It also demonstrates why we need to upgrade from conditional welfare like SSI. A weight line should not decide someone's fate. Put it in the bookmarks and share it out. Good news from Long Beach. Mayor Robert Garcia has joined the Mayors for AGI and petitioned his city council to draft a resolution in support of a UBI program. I am absolutely loving how fast this mayoral coalition is growing and how fast they are moving in developing pilot programs. And this one is for an actual UBI, not just a means-tested basic income, from what was said in the letter. Rock on. Across the pond, the UK has started a new emergency UBI petition. While it's for a UBI in the UK, the petition does not specify that you need to be from there to sign it. A UBI anywhere is a victory for all of us. I added my name. Follow the link below to add yours. 8 states and 3 cities have democracy reform initiatives on the ballot this fall. We've already gone over most of these, and you can find details on all of them at the Represent Us link below. The quick list is ranked choice voting is on the ballot in Alaska, Arkansas, California, Massachusetts, and Minnesota. Campaign finance is on the ballot in Alaska and Oregon. Gerrymandering is on the ballot in Arkansas, Missouri, Oregon, and Virginia. And open primaries are on the ballot in Alaska, Arkansas, and Florida. If you live in any of those states, visit the link below to get the details and start advocating locally for your ballot measures. If your state is not in the list, email or call your state and local representatives and ask them why not. We will never have a government that works for us until we fix the incentives of our politicians and the process by which they get there. GoodDollar just came out with their white paper on how they plan to create a UBI cryptocurrency. I'm no expert in this field, so I doubt I understood it correctly. From what I read, it sounds like this is basically a new currency in which donors will volunteer to invest money, and GoodDollar will give them a slight return while splitting the rest of the return among all users as a UBI. But don't quote me on that. Hoping to get clarification from the authors if they respond to my message. But you can, of course, read the paper for yourself, and if any of you feel you've got a handle on it, feel free to shoot me a direct message on Twitter at YangDailyCast or email me at YangDailyPodcast@gmail.com and correct me if I got that wrong. I'm a bit late on this next one, but just before the start of the RNC, 73 security officials and congresspeople announced their defection from the GOP to Biden, citing that Trump has gravely damaged America's role as a world leader, proven unfit to lead in a national crisis, solicited foreign influence from Russia, and undermined democracy by manufacturing doubt in the validity of our elections. It's good to know that there are still some patriots out there willing to put country over corporate parties. Hats off to all of them. As for the RNC, I haven't had time to listen to it myself, and from what I'm hearing from those who have, I'm rather thankful for that small mercy. Alex Morse released an incredible ad, incredible mostly for how impressive his life accomplishments and decisions have been. It quickly runs through his history, what he stands for, and what his opponent stands for, ending with the line, "Richard Neal knows how Washington works, but I want to change how Washington works," which I think really gets to the heart of things. I'm tired of hearing that we need career politicians to fix our problems. We need citizen politicians who live in the real world and are going to address the real issues. Anyway, you should definitely watch the ad and share it around. Alex Morse is the real deal. I also hope Yang's campaign takes some notes from this ad for his next run. The 4-Day Week campaign is hosting a Zoom meeting September 8th to discuss, you guessed it, the merits and logistics of enacting a 4-day work week. Sign up to tune in at the link in the description. Steve Chacha has announced that he is donating $1 to Kim for every retweet he gets up to 1,000. I was going to urge you to help him with that donation goal, but as of writing this, he's already hit the max. So instead, I will just say a hearty thank you to Steve for his immense generosity and civic service. You demand. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Help Nathan in promoting the Yang Daily. Thank Mayor Garcia for supporting UBI. Add your name to the UBI petition. Advocate for democracy reform in your area. Share Morse's excellent ad. Help recruit other organizations to the cause and get everyone to sign the UBI petition. Flood Congress and Trump with calls, tweets, and letters using the Resist Bot or Income Movement easy contacts below. If you need help, consult Humanity Forward, the Income Movement Aid Database, the Mission Asset Fund, United Way, or the H3 podcast thread. And don't forget to Yang Daily.